Hello and welcome to another recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 15, Episode 10, The Great OC Escape. All right, so Shannon is out of the trip because she has Miss Rona in her house. And now Emily has Miss Rona, so she also can't go. At the same time, she has tested positive for Miss Rona. Shane is showing signs of being sick, although he hasn't tested positive yet, but he seems to be getting quite ill. All right, meanwhile, Braunwyn is afraid of being in a party house. Then you know what, Braunwyn, don't go. Just stay home and be miserable with Sean. Make your family unhappy instead of making the ladies unhappy who are looking forward to a little getaway. She says she's especially afraid of being there without Emily and Shannon. Okay, I don't think they're that thrilled to have you. The other ladies are that thrilled to have you coming either, Braunwyn. Okay, so we see these so-called cabins up at Lake Arrowhead, which is a couple hours east of Orange County, and it's a man-made lake. It's lovely. It is. I used to go there quite a bit. One of these so-called cabins, these mansions, was in the family of a friend of mine growing up. So we used to go up there and water ski. And just bringing up something that Gina's going to say later, how she's not fond of water, but she's especially not fond of lakes because you don't know what's on the bottom. I never liked the water at Lake Arrowhead. The mountains around it and the pine trees were lovely, but I never liked the water. Number one, if you ever opened your mouth, it tasted of gasoline because there were too many boats in it. I don't know if that has been cleaned up, but I distinctly remember that. I spent a lot of time water skiing there when I was a kid. And the other thing I remember is the lake weed. The lake weed, which always bothered me. I've always not been a huge fan of fresh water. But the lake weed in Lake Arrowhead are these long, kind of stringy things that can grow to be a couple feet high. And they always had these horrible stories about bodies sinking to the bottom of the lake and getting tangled up in the lake weed. Or just, there were always some creepy stories around Lake Arrowhead. I was more of a beach girl. I was happy on the ocean. I also loved a beautiful swimming pool like in Palm Springs. Give me a lovely pool, give me beautiful water, give me a beautiful beach. Lakes, not so much. They're pretty to look at, but to swim in, no, not so much. Okay, with that big startup, with your big introduction to Lake Arrowhead, dead bodies in the lake. So on her way out of town, Braunwyn stops and checks in with Shannon, kind of from a distance from the front porch through the open door. All three of Shannon's girls are positive for Miss Rona. So she has to self-isolate. She's alone. I guess she's actually staying in kind of like a little guest house. I don't know what it is. It looks like a little mother-in-law house, as we call them in Miami. Attached to the house, not sure. Shannon is terrified that she might have it. I think she's more scared of Miss Rona than anyone I've seen. And I know some people that have comorbidities and are old and have lung problems, and I swear to God, I've never seen anyone as terrified of it as Shannon. You know, and remember, she's an anxious person, so she has issues with anxiety and OCD, so, you know, it makes sense. Okay, now, meanwhile, we have Kelly. Rick has permanently moved to the West Coast. Okay, so now she's got her boo there. I guess he's working now for Fox in Los Angeles. Elizabeth arrives. Kelly asks Elizabeth how she feels about Braunwyn's snooping. You know, how she feels about Braunwyn just obsessively looking through all of her records, because in order to get the information that Braunwyn's getting on her, she's having to pay money. I mean, those sites are not expensive. They have these public record searches online that you pay a little bit of money for. She's still not finding all this stuff in free searches, just in court records. So it's just creepy. I would really be bothered if someone that had no reason to be frightened of me, or someone that wasn't in danger of me stealing money from them or marrying her son or something like that. Why would you do that kind of search on someone that's supposedly a friend? It's weird. But that's Braunwyn. Braunwyn, in a word, is weird. She's weird. She's damaged. And she's weird. And Elizabeth is like, yeah, I hate it. It's creepy. She's right. Okay. Now Gina arrives at the cabin. They're nervous about Shannon because Shannon is so worried. Yes, they say that, you know, they all say they know she's a hypochondriac, but she really does have lung issues, I guess. All right. Okay, now Braunwyn arrives to F everything up. Yeah, miserable bitch. She just shows up and walks in right as everyone is talking smack about her, which is cute. Elizabeth gives her a really, really pissed off look. Braunwyn is freaked out by all the bottles. She's really bothered by the presence of so much alcohol. And of course, I just want to say, stay home, bitch. Although it's nice for Sean and the kids probably to get a break from her. Okay, okay, can I just say here that the number of bottles on display in the cabin is outrageous. Bravo is messing with her, and it's messing with us. As if, unless someone has a giant brand deal with Seagram's or something, as if there are going to be that many bottles around the house. Go back and look at that 2 minutes of footage and count the number of bottles shown. No, nobody has that much alcohol on display. The house is a museum of alcohol bottles. This is so obviously Bravo overdoing it. And of course, making sure that Braunwyn's going to be good and triggered so she can get extra bitchy to everybody. All right. So it's interesting because we see her confessional look now. And this is interesting. Braunwyn is wearing black. She looks hard. She looks cold, kind of dead behind the eyes. She's turning into Dr. Deb without the rainbow dreadlocks. And at least the attempt to be somewhat new age and spreading positivity, even though she's not really doing that. Yeah, it's not good. I don't know what Braunwyn's going to look like in another 5 years. She needs to really, I don't know, cleanse everything. Cleanse her body, cleanse her liver, cleanse her mind, her chakras, whatever. I know I'm being really hard on her, and I was the one in the beginning who was so moved when she said I'm an alcoholic, but she's a lot. She's a lot. Okay. Now they start talking about Shannon, and Braunwyn leaves. I guess Shannon was letting John and his kids and even her girls kind of come in and out of the house before and after Miss Rona was in the house. So they're not blaming her exactly, but they are kind of saying, you know, she wasn't, considering how fanatical she is about being so terrified of this disease and not bringing it into her home, she was pretty careless. So Braunwyn sees this as everyone talking smack about suddenly her good, dear friend Shannon, so she leaves because she doesn't want to be part of it. She won't talk about someone when they're not there. Kelly calls out Braunwyn on her bullshit. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly, surprisingly likable this season compared to the past when I was just like, can we please get rid of her? Yeah, Braunwyn talks crap about everyone behind their back. She's the worst. Kelly and Elizabeth call her fake. They say she only lives on Instagram. This is when she's outside on the deck, supposedly horrified and doesn't want to be around them because they're talking smack about Shannon. So they're saying all this when she's not in their presence. She's out on the deck, being dramatic, being pious and dramatic. Okay, Kelly says, and I totally believe this, especially looking back on social media, Braunwyn hired a photographer to follow her and her family around during the Black Lives marches. the little Black Lives mini marches that they had in Orange County, to show them in their best possible light, marching for justice. Huh. Do you think the Freedom Marchers in Selma, Alabama each brought their own camera and social media crew along so they could show their friends back up north how amazing they were being and what wonderful human beings they are or were? Oh, that's gross. That's gross. That's Braunwyn. It looks true. I'm going to say, if it is true, it's disgusting, and I'm pretty sure it's true. All right, yeah. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Oh, she's not doing selfies. A professional is doing it. Yeah, okay. All right. Gina does tell Braunwyn, when they all get back together, she needs to stop digging up dirt on Elizabeth. This is Gina and Braunwyn, I think just the two of them on their own. She's like, you really need to stop doing that. It's not cool. It looks weird. It's obsessive, and it's just not right. Okay. Oh God, now we have to cut back to Shannon, and I cannot, with her and all of her boring questions about her kids and her obsession with bullshit anti-immunity potions and essential oils and this, honey, this, folks, no, the right herbs from the Amazonian basin are not going to protect you from getting Miss Rona. It's ridiculous. I mean, look, everything that is naturopathic, everything, I'm not saying that these things can't be beneficial. There are, a lot of cures that modern medicine relies on come from nature, like aspirin originally comes from a tree bark. A lot of this stuff does come from nature originally. But why do you think it says on everything, on all different kinds of, funky supplements and herbs and, milk thistle and whatever? I mean, you guys are probably going to ding me for this because I know a lot of people are really into it. But why do you think it says on the bottle of everything like that, or should if they're following the law? The FDA has not shown this to be proven as, as medicine to diagnose or cure an illness. In other words, this is kind of nonsense, but if you want to blow your money on it, like essential oils, yeah, okay. I mean, look, buy essential oils by all means if therapeutically they make you feel great, because breathing in lavender is beautiful and relaxing. It is. I mean, I am huge on aromatherapy for just lifting my spirits and feeling good. I am the queen of beautiful, expensive, like bath oils and body oils and, and high-end body creams and shower gels and diffusers and, of good quality, like not the chemical crap, but the good stuff. No, I'm a big fan of it, I understand, but no, essential oils are not, they're not physical medicine. Psychologically, yes, they're very helpful. Yes, they make your environment feel nice. They uplift your spirits. But come on. All right. I'm probably going to get some problems from saying that. All right. Braunwyn is not staying at the cabin. She's going to a hotel. She's going to leave every night and be in bed by 10 because she doesn't want to be around the ladies when they're doing their late night partying and they start to break into those 5 million bottles of alcohol weirdly on display around the house. I'm surprised they don't have, like, in the bathroom 10 bottles of different flavored vodka, infused vodka. It's weird. But that's Bravo. That's Bravo. Okay. All right. Gina, while she is talking to Braunwyn, asks about her marriage. And we already know the answer to this question. And Braunwyn says, it's bad. No sex. We're not having sex. It's really passive-aggressive. Kind of doubting whether we're even going to stay together. Yeah, because you've broken the mold, you've broken the framework, the armature of your marriage, which is you get drunk and Sean enables you, hold your hair when you throw up. If you do throw up, you probably drink so much you don't even throw up anymore, and then put you in bed. and cleans up your messes, both social and physical. So now you've broken that, and it's like, what do? You have to get to know each other? You have to be like a normal married couple? Oh, Braunwyn, now you have to just raise those kids? Because you're not having any more? I don't know. All right, now, oh, Shane is pretty sick. You know, Shane, I just have developed a little crush on you. So don't go leaving me now. Emily is really, really worried. Her case of Miss Rona is not that bad. The kids have it, so she's caring for the kids, and Shane, Emily herself is weak though, because she is positive, like I said. I mean, she's not as sick as, you know, Shane, but she definitely is quite weak. And apparently at this point, he still hasn't tested positive. It's just that something else is going on with him that may or may not be related to Miss Rona. And God, if he catches Miss Rona on top of it, that would really be horrible. So, okay. But you can tell, you know, at this point, remember, Emily and Shane have come back together. She's scared. She's scared. So, all right, now we get back to the lake issue. Like I said, Gina hates lakes. I told you I don't like them either. Hate that slimy. There's always, if it's not Arrowhead lake weed, there's always some slimy shit on the bottom of lakes that when your feet touch it, you're just like, oh, what the hell was that? I mean, the ocean, it might be turtle grass, you know, which is fine. It might be sand, it might be rocks, it might be shells, whatever, but no, that's Lake Arrowhead, no. Beautiful, just don't swim in the lake. Okay. All right. So Gina, I guess admirably, tries to get over her fear of lakes. Okay, so Gina gets in a kayak with Elizabeth. She does remind us that she doesn't like water in general. She's not crazy about the ocean either, but she especially dislikes lakes. Kelly is the only one at the cabin who cooks. So she is the chef. I'm surprised they didn't just call in a chef so they can relax and have a little vacation, but maybe right now it's hard to get one. At this point in time, it might be hard to get one. All right. Braunwyn calls Sean. She immediately goes for the jugular, telling him, why didn't you answer on the first try? I guess she had to call and it rang a few times. He didn't pick up right away. She had to call a second time and then he picked up. She tells him, I can feel the drama and the negativity coming. Yeah, with an attitude like that, guaranteed. I'll make a bet with you. I guarantee you there's going to be drama and negativity. Debbie Downer, God, she's just so boring. I can't believe that she's turned out to be my just... all right, so Shane has to go to the hospital. His oxygen levels were low. Now that does sound like Miss Rona. Shannon is talking to Emily, and Emily does say that he was having gallbladder issues on top of the infection. Shannon is now terrified, even more terrified, because Shane was so healthy. And Shannon sees herself as this sick woman. She's not. Shannon, you're not a sickly woman, but she really likes to see herself this way. So she sees herself in, you know, incredible danger, much more than anyone else. I don't know. Okay, oh God. Now up at the cabin, we're going to bring up a subject that should not be brought up because we have Kelly and Elizabeth, who I think are kind of the, let's say, on the right of things politically. And then you have Braunwyn and probably Gina too, who are not, but Braunwyn is definitely very far on the left. And Kelly starts talking about how stupid it is when they start tearing down statues. This is not, you know, like Civil War general statues. This is not a conversation that should be had between Kelly and Braunwyn. Also, talk about Dumb and Dumber. I don't think either one of them would have the most up-to-date information on this situation, on anything. Oh God, then Kelly is, you know, gonna start talking about how they shouldn't be so hard on the police right after the whole George Floyd thing happens. Like, oh God. And then Kelly makes a dig at Braunwyn and says, you know, how dare you talk about this? You're not even college educated. Oh, excuse me, Kelly, you went to ASU. You went to Arizona State University. You know, and Braunwyn actually makes the comment about that, but I had heard that she went there before. Yeah, ASU, again, I might get comments about this, but you know, it's not usually a really smart kid's A school. Most of the kids, people's children that I know, it's like their safety school. Like, oh, if everything else fails and I don't get into the schools I want to get into, I can get into ASU. It's like that. I'm not saying it isn't a decent university. I'm just saying a bachelor's degree from ASU is not like winning a Nobel Prize. It's, yeah, okay. Anyway, it's not like being a Rhodes Scholar. All right, so they're talking about this situation of, you know, Black Lives Matter and the police, and Gina, again, who is more on the left in a more rational way, probably, than Braunwyn. Gina says, you know what, when I was arrested, in other words, when she got her DUI, she said, I was not scared of the men arresting me. I felt like, you know, yeah, I was in trouble, but they were going to get me where I needed to go and, in a sense, take care of me, and I didn't fear for my life. I didn't fear that they were going to hurt me. Good point. I've told you before on this channel, you know, talking about this, that I don't know what it feels like to be pulled over as a black woman, let alone a black man. You know, I get a speeding ticket and you do that thing, which is, you know, you try to look real stupid and say, oh my God, was I going that fast, officer? And this whole thing has made me just... I mean, I've always been aware, though. I can't say this has made me aware of what white privilege is. I've always been aware of it. I've always been aware that other people were being treated very differently. I don't know, something, even though I grew up in Orange County, you would think I would be the queen of white privilege. But somehow I always knew that it just wasn't that way for everybody. Don't ask me how, but just common sense. Yeah, common sense and watching the news, probably. Okay. Elizabeth said she never really thought about white privilege because she grew up so poor. But, you know, then she kind of sees that even as a poor white child, especially a girl, there were situations that were probably going to be different for her than someone of color, than a person of color. So, okay, now Braunwyn leaves for the night, and we leave Shane fighting in the hospital. So I will get to the next recap for you, and again, I'm not really looking ahead this season, so I'm hoping that he's okay, because I like him now. Not that I want anyone to get sick and be in pain, or God forbid die of Miss Rona. I don't, but yeah, I feel bad for Emily and Shane. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and again, thank you those who have switched over to Real Housewives TEA and Shade from Intelligent Reality Recaps, because I'm not posting on Intelligent Reality Recaps anymore. I'm just posting on this. And yes, we are still finishing up Orange County, and I am going to dig deep into Southern Charm and hopefully lure you over to the Southern Charm camp, because I think you'll love it. But with the holidays and everything else going on, I've been a little bit busier than usual. So anyway, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021. Let's all hope and wish and pray for, you know, great things to come along. And, you know, I know that it's a controversial subject, but I'm going to be the first one to tell you that as soon as I can get that vaccine, I'm going to be out there getting it. I really miss traveling, and I think we're going to have kind of travel passports now, like we used to have. You know, back in the 80s, we used to have these little yellow travel cards that we would have to show coming into certain countries that we had like our yellow fever shots and this shot and that shot. And I think we're going to have COVID passports. They'll probably be little electronic cards, but I think we are going to have COVID passports. And I have a lot of trips planned. We just added, I'm going to go with my mother-in-law to Ethiopia. So not only can I go back to India and see my friends, but hopefully there's a small group trip to Ethiopia in the fall, which I would love to go to, because all you're seeing on 90 Day Fiancé is Addis Ababa, which is not exactly spectacular, but Ethiopia is a beautiful country, and all these different tribes and cultures and ancient Christian churches, and it's fascinating, and it's very high on my countries that I haven't been to, and I have been to a lot of countries, but I have not yet been to Ethiopia, so I would be thrilled to get to go there. Fingers crossed. And my mother-in-law is now in her mid-80s, and she's amazing. She's been to over 100 countries. I've been to like 50 something or close to 60. She's been to over 100 countries, and she's never been to Ethiopia. And this might be one of her last big trips. Although having said that, she might still be going in 10 years. I don't know. But we have a good time. So yeah, she's not your typical 80-something-year-old. She's something. Especially when she has a couple cocktails. Anyway, please do subscribe. I always forget to mention that. Please subscribe. I've had my subscriptions go up, actually, quite a bit in the last couple days. Next time I'll read off some of the names of new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining the Shady Tribe, our little Shady Tribe. And please take very good care of yourself and be good, but not too good. Happy New Year. Love you. Bye.